This is the video lesson for pre-algebra lesson 6.2 proportions. In this lesson, we're going to calculate the percentage of increases and decreases of a quantity. So we're going to start with just solving proportions. So proportions is an equality of two ratios. So remember, ratios can be written as a fraction. So here, if we have A over B equals C over D, this is an equality of two ratios. This is a ratio, this is a ratio. Equality means equal sign. You can use some algebra using the multiplication property of equality and see that AD equals CB or AD equals BC. And these products are called cross products. So what that means is, this is a nice way to solve proportions using cross products. So if in a proportion the cross products are going to be equal. So here, when you want to solve these, well, yeah, if you're going to solve them, but here you can show that these, if you cross these, multiply these, they equal the same thing. Right, so this is a proof of it. And we're going to use this to solve these. So let's look at an example. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to solve, this is asking you to solve for x. So we have a proportion and we have an x here that we want to solve. So the first way we'll do it is with algebra. So this is x is divided by 9 equals 4 divided by 6. So if we want to get x alone, divided by 9 equals 4 divided by 6, we can just undo the divide by 9 here by doing the opposite of divide, and we can multiply by 9. So let's multiply both sides by 9. And that means on this side, if we do railroad tracks, so we multiply by 9 on both sides. These cancel, they go to 1, right? So then x equals, and then here we can do 4 times 9, which is 36, divided by 6, that's going to equal 6. So x equals 6 is our answer. It's just to do it algebraically. The second method we're going to show is just using the, oops, I wrote the wrong thing, is using the cross product. And I find that most people like this method better just because you look at this and you can do the fun butterfly thing. It's an extra step, but it does, it's a little bit easier to follow. So that means here, you're going to multiply these two. So 6x, and then here you're going to multiply these two, 36. So that means that 6x equals 36. Then we have a nice, easy solve here. 6 times x, how to undo that times 6, we divide by 6. And x equals 6. All right, so those are the two methods. Use whichever one you like. You don't have to do it both ways. And try this one on your own. Actually, try all three of these, A, B, and C. I'll leave that up there too. You can push pause and try these three on your own. Check back for the answer, but not until you do it. Okay, so you can see here for A, we got h equals 6. B, we got t equals 44, and D, we got C, we got D equals 77. So if you didn't get those, press pause and check your work with mine. And then if you still have questions, ask them in class, please. Okay, moving on. Let's see another problem. This says, example 2 says, do the ratios 4 divided by 6 and 10 divided by 14 form a proportion. So we can test this, right? Remember, proportion means the two ratios are equal. So let's set them equal to each other. Let's do our cross multiplication. Let's find out, is 14 times 4 is 56. 10 times 6 is 60. Do they equal each other? No, they don't. So no, this does not form a proportion because 56 does not equal 60. All right, so that's all you're doing. You're just cross multiplying, and then if they're the same thing, then yes, they're a proportion. If they're not, then they're not a proportion. So try these three on your own. Press pause, and then check back for the answer. Okay, so A was yes, a proportion, B was no, not a proportion, and C was yes, a proportion. So check your work and ask questions in class if you have them. Okay, moving on to some word problems. This question is saying, okay, 100 nautical miles equals about 115 standard or statute miles. How many statute miles equal 381 nautical miles? Round your answer to the nearest whole number. Okay, so let's set up our proportion. What color? Red. Okay. If we have 100 nautical miles and 115 statute miles, that equals how many statute miles? So since we have nautical miles on top, statute miles are on the bottom, we're going to put our X on the bottom here. X statute miles equal about 381 nautical miles. Okay, so we set up our proportion. Let's do our cross multiplication. This is 100x, and then 115 times 381 is 43,815. Okay, so then we're going to divide both sides by 100, and we get x equals, it says round your answer to the nearest whole number. So I'm getting on my calculator 438.15, right? But if we're rounding to the nearest whole number, right, we're going to keep, this is my whole number place, right? So we're only going to have, it's going to be hundreds to this place. Since this is an 8, this is going to be 438, and then the number after it, since this 1 is less than 5, we're going to keep the 8. So this is going to be rounded to 438 statute miles, which is C. Okay, so now try the star one. To the nearest mile, how far nautical miles is 100 statute miles? Okay, so we're going to convert, we're going to solve this proportion. So push pause, try this on your own, and then check back from the solution, and we'll be done. Okay, so hopefully you got 87 statute miles. Please pause the video and check your work if you did not. I just want to note here, just for rounding, remember, so we're rounding to the nearest mile, it says here. So here is our place that we're going to. This is a 6, right, 86. But remember, since the next place is higher, this number here is higher than 5, that means we're going to go up 1 here, right? Because this is closer to 87 than it is to 86. So we're rounding to 87. Okay, and there's your lesson.